everyone, this is Demel Gonzalez of Heartwood Financial Services. Hey, thanks for joining us for our latest financial wisdom video. So I want to talk about a great opportunity that we have in retirement today. And even if you're way off from retirement or just a few years from retirement or right smack dab in the middle of it, this video is for you. So I hope you guys enjoy. If I asked you to tell me a little bit about yourself, you'd more than likely start off by telling me what you do for a living, or what you used to do, depending on what season of life you're in. You may see yourself in one of these pictures, depicting a lot of different careers and industries. Many of us spend decades in an industry, and that tends to be how we identify ourselves, whether it's being a real estate agent, a firefighter, a doctor, a business owner, engineer, teacher, or you're a mom whose full-time job was managing a home and raising kids. At some point, you transition into a different phase and season, and that's retirement. Retirement is a life event. That's first and foremost, and one we have to prepare for and think about, ideally before it's suddenly upon you. It's as significant as marriage and having children. Think about this. Some people will spend more time in retirement than they did in their chosen career. If you retired at age 60 or want to retire at 50, that's potentially 30 years, maybe even 40 years of being retired. That's undeniably a long time. We think about financial plans, estate plans, health plans, plans for children, plans for aging parents, but we don't always think about what we need, that we need a retirement plan, unless we're talking about a retirement account, and this is about far more than your IRA. So here is the question. Do you want to retire from something or retire to something? It's critical we retire to something. Otherwise, this major life event can bring you some challenges we may not anticipate. So I read this great article about retirement. It's actually about the non-financial aspects of retirement that I'm going to share with you here. So first, men struggle more than women, mainly because women tend to think of themselves a bit more broadly than men do when it comes to retirement. There are always exceptions, but that's the tendency. Second, if you had a title, say you've been Dr. So-and-so for 40 years, and you don't want to be Mr. Perhaps you've been the boss, CEO, chief of police, a leader in the military. The examples are endless, and the life outside of that will be an adjustment. Lastly, is that entrepreneurs struggle less primarily because they tend to be hardwired to try new things. A big question for many is, who am I now? Let's say you spent 25 years or more doing the same thing week after week. Maybe you loved it, or maybe you didn't. Either way, there will be a grieving process. That is normal and something to consider as you navigate these new waters. You may need outside support. Your identity was likely very wrapped up in, or currently is wrapped up in, what you did for a living. I'm a CFP. I'm an advisor. It's what I spend the majority of my time doing, and I love it. But I also recognize how strange it may feel when the day comes, don't worry, many years from now, okay, that I'm no longer doing what I did for decades. It makes sense that an identity struggle can, and it does happen. So be thinking about that. Okay, great, Demel. But now what? Well, identify the pros and cons of how you spent your working years. What did you love? What did you not love? Identify those aspects and see how it could help you discover what you may want to do during retirement. What will bring you joy? What will satisfy you intellectually, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? It's important to think in the present and not resort to who you were when, remember, it's a life event. So what's the opportunity? It's the opportunity to create a new story for yourself. What's awesome about retirement is that it can be a chance for you to return to former passions you had that maybe took a back seat when you were busy with your career and raising a family. I have clients in retirement who are doing everything from playing pickleball to writing a book. I have clients who have rediscovered passions for working on cars, playing instruments, and of course, many love traveling. Personally, I love to play tennis, and I can see that being one aspect of my retirement. Hopefully my knees will hold up. Perhaps you have a passion for volunteer work, camping, painting, photography, or singing. Retirement can be a great opportunity to learn something new, like another language or ballroom dancing. Regardless, what matters is that you embrace learning, that you're patient with the process, and if after a period of time you're feeling uninspired, seek help from a trusted therapist, a pastor, a friend, or a family member so your retirement is a blessing to you. So my advice, retire to that season of life and it will be much more gratifying and fulfilling. Thanks a lot for listening. God bless.